Good afternoon, James Preston with you on 𝐾𝐞 TV. It's lunchtime here in Sydney and you know what that means, it's time for the Mid-Market Pulse. In this show we'll take a look at the Australian share market performance stocks that also topped the charts and our biggest gainers and lunars. Plus we'll take a look in our final segment at stocks that have grabbed headlines today. Australian shares continue to trade higher by the afternoon, extending opening gains on the back of firm cues from US markets, as well as a spurt in commodity prices. Investors also reacted to the corporate earnings announcements, with some big players such as WiseTech, Afterpay, 𝐊𝐴𝐴, Orocobre, Sealink and Aurelia Metals announcing their results this morning. The ASX 200 was trading 20.8 points or 0.28% higher by lunch. Extending gains for the third session, the index opened higher today and gained as much as 0.5% to hit a high. On the sectoral front, 7 of the 11 sectors were trading in the green zone. IT was the best performer, rising nearly 2% on positive cues from US counterparts, the Nasdaq. The rally in tech stocks was led by logistics software business WiseTech Global, which surged over 39% on the back of strong earnings outlook for the financial year of 2022. The tech sector was followed by the materials sector, which extended its rally for the second day due to a rise in iron ore prices. Iron ore prices surged 6.8% in overnight trades as improving optimism over economic recovery and prospects for additional stimulus in China boosted the outlook for demand. Healthcare, energy and financial indices also witnessed a surge in buying activity. Meanwhile, the telecom sector emerged as the worst performer with a 1.7% loss, followed by utilities, which dropped over 1%. Among others, the consumer staples sector continued to reel under selling pressure for the third straight day. On the COVID-19 front, New South Wales has reported a record 919 new locally acquired cases in the past 24 hours, the highest daily number ever recorded in the country. Meanwhile, Victoria's daily case tally dropped for the second day to hit 45, while Queensland reported no new cases on Wednesday. Let's now turn our attention to the biggest gainers and losers into the mid-market session. Technology firm Wise Global topped the gainers chart by surging 39% on the back of a robust earnings and a strong outlook for the next fiscal year. Some of the other notable gainers were financial services firm HUB24, engineering services major Monadelphous, miner Lynas Rare Earths and digital travel business Webjet. On the flip side, Australia's largest plumbing and bathroom supplier Reece was the top loser on the ASX, falling nearly 10%. Media firm Nine Entertainment, resource firm Iluka, industrial company 7 Group Holdings and energy firm AGL Energy were among the worst performers. Alright, time now for a very short break, but stay tuned with me on 𝐾𝐞 TV as we continue to dissect the action from trades into the lunchtime session.
Hi, I'm Sage, and get ready to take the crypto ride with me on 𝐾𝐞 TV. Watch the crypto buzz every Tuesday and join the excitement at 𝐾𝐞 TV. From Bitcoins to NFTs to Dogecoin and DeFi, we have updates about everything around these digital currencies. Understand the investing rationale and the risks involved in the space with me, Sage, on Crypto Buzz. Keep watching 𝐾𝐞 TV.
Welcome back to the Mid-Market Pulse, exclusive to 𝐾𝐞 TV. Great to have your company. I'm James Preston, and it's time now to shift our focus to stocks that have grabbed headlines today. Logistics software solutions provider WiseTech Global has seen its shares rally over 39% on the back of a strong earnings outlook for financial year 2022. The company projected financial year 22 revenue growth of 18 to 25% and EBITDA growth of 26 to 38%. For financial year 2021, its revenue rose 18% to 507.5 million Aussie dollars, while EBITDA jumped 63% to 206.7 million Aussie dollars. The underlying net profit after tax more than doubled compared to the last fiscal The company has declared a fully franked final ordinary dividend of 3.85 cents per share, representing a 141% increase on the financial year 2020 final dividend. The final dividend is payable on the 8th of October 2021 to shareholders registered as on the 13th of September 2021. Shares of buy now, pay later major Afterpay were trading down 0.6% after announcing its earnings report. The payment solutions company's net loss widened by nearly 6,000% for the 2021 fiscal year. The spike in loss was attributed to a rise in annual marketing costs as it expanded business into new markets to cash in pandemic-driven boom demand for buy now, pay later services. Meanwhile, revenue rose 78% while operating income, or EBITDA, fell by 13%. The company, which recently announced a merger with US-based fintech platform Square, reported a 63% rise in active users to 16.2 million, while its merchant base rose by 77% to 98,200. Another buy now, pay later major, �ZIPCO, saw its shares falling over 1% despite reporting robust earnings for the 2021 fiscal year. The company's annual loss ballooned to 652.5 million Aussie dollars as the company spent huge on business expansions in the US and elsewhere. The company said it spent 306.2 million Aussie dollars on its QuadPay acquisition and 142.8 million Aussie dollars in share-based payment expenses. Zip has acquired full ownership of the QuadPay business, in which it previously held a small stake. Its revenue surged by 150%, the customer base jumped by 248%, while merchants on Zip's integrated network increased to 51.3 thousand, up 109% year on year. The company said that it delivered strong credit performance in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, driven by repeat customer usage and investments in its proprietary decisioning capabilities. During the year, the company raised more than 676 million Aussie dollars in capital to support its global growth mandate, while finishing the year with 330.2 million Aussie dollars cash in hand. The share price of Orocobre slipped nearly 2% after it released its earnings result for the full year ending on the 30th of June 2021. The lithium chemicals producer's losses widened by 14.7%, dented by Argentine tax rates change and also the effects of inflation. However, the revenue climbed 10% for the financial year of 2021. Total production of lithium carbonate was up 6% at 12,611 tonnes compared to the last fiscal despite COVID-19 disruptions. Battery-grade lithium carbonate production reached 66% of total production for the June quarter and 48% for the full year. Updating on a merger deal with Galaxy Resources, the company said it has received all necessary approvals to complete the merger effective from today. The merger would result in the issue of 0.569 Orocobre shares for every Galaxy share. Time now for a short break on the mid-market pulse. Still a few more headlines to go through though. We'll wrap them all up in just a moment on 𝐾ALKINE TV. Has your week hit you for six? Barely had time to breathe, let alone throw a flick pass? Well, don't worry, 𝐾ALKINE has all your sporting action covered. Each episode, I'll bring you the biggest sports news of the week. Exclusive interviews with athletes, sports commentators and journalists. Plus, we'll also look at the finances off the field from new broadcast deals, sports commercial partnerships and more with sports business. So for a sports show that tackles all the big issues, ball and all, join me, James Preston, for Game On every Friday, exclusive to 𝐾ALKINE TV. Thanks for sticking with us on 𝐾ALKINE TV. James Preston with you for the Mid-Market Pulse, and we're taking a look at today's headline grabbers. Let's move on to Sealink Travel. Ferries and bus operator Sealink Travel's shares rose nearly 3% after it swings to profit in financial year 2021. The underlying net profit jumped by 152.6%, and the earnings were boosted by 11.9 million Aussie dollars from JobKeeper employment support received from the government. The earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortisation surged to 167.5 million Aussie dollars. The company has also announced to pay total dividends of 16 cents per share, 45.4% higher than the prior year. Shares of mining and exploration company Aurelia Metals jumped nearly 4% after it released its earnings report this morning. The profit surged 46% during the financial year 2021, supported by stronger realised pricing. Revenue grew by 26%, while EBITDA rose 49%. Sales revenue from gold sold during the year was 37.1 million Aussie dollars higher than a year prior, driven by a 10% rise in gold that was sold. The average gold price realised during the year was $2,476 per ounce, 6% higher on average in comparison to the 2020 fiscal year. And lastly, shares of engineering company Worley fell over 2% after it reported a drop in its profit and revenue in financial year 2021. The net profit dropped 50% while revenue slipped 27%. The company's board has also announced paying a final dividend of 25 cents per share, taking the full year dividends to 50 cents per share. Well, that's a wrap for today's Mid-Market Pulse show. Keep watching 𝐾𝐿𝐼𝐴 TV for the latest market updates from Australia and around the world. I'll see you soon, but for now, it's James signing off.